Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Soul Land 3 Legend of the Dragon King Part 82 based on novel. So let's start. Xu Xiaoyan had a delicate appearance, like that of a frail flower. She was undoubtedly unrivaled among her peers. It didn't take much for a relatively large team to accept her, making them a team of 5 with her addition. Ignoring her team's discussions, she glanced at Tang Wulin, completely pleased with herself. Xie Xie also managed to join a team without a hitch. Agility-type Soul Masters excelled in chaotic battlefields, so he was easily able to recruit 2 other Agility-type Soul Masters to form a team of 3. He even came up with a name for his team, the Scavengers. Someone spoke up while Tang Wulin was immersed in observing his fellow classmates. "Hi, you really a 4th-rank blacksmith?" It was that young Nianxia who had previously doubted him. "MN. I am." Tang Wulin took out his badge as proof. Considering young Nianxia's sturdy build, Tang Wulin was certain that he was a blacksmith as well. As fellow blacksmiths, they were bound to run into each other often in the future, so it was best to maintain a cordial relationship. "Let's team up then. I'm a power-type Soul Master. My martial soul is the Dusk Gold Bear," young Nianxia said, cutting right to the chase. "The Dusk Gold Bear?" Tang Wulin was startled. The Dusk Gold Bear was a variant of the Dusk Gold Dreadclaw Bear. In all of history, a Soul Master with the Dusk Gold Dreadclaw Bear as martial soul had never appeared. Maybe it was just too overbearing for a human to contain. The Dusk Gold Bear, however, was lauded as the most powerful bear-type martial soul. It possessed all the traits of the Dusk Gold Dreadclaw Bear, except for its famed claw. Both its strength and defense were tyrannical, making it an amazing meat shield. Tang Wulin could be considered a sort of assault-type Soul Master. If he were to team up with such an amazing human shield, his survivability would soar to new heights. Tang Wulin nodded without the slightest hesitation. "Sure. Welcome to the team. I'm Tang Wulin, and this here is my companion, Guu. I'm a control-type Soul Master, and Guu is an elemental-type Soul Master that specializes in control, support, and ranged attacks." "Hi." Young Nianxia offered his hand to Guu in greeting. However, she only gave him a nod. She never let anyone apart from Tang Wulin touch her. Tang Wulin smiled sheepishly. That's just the kind of person Guu is. "Don't mind it too much, young Nianxia." Young Nianxia chuckled and he rubbed the back of his head. It's fine, it's fine." "Oh, right, how old are you? It's amazing that you're a 4th-rank blacksmith at such a young age. We should compare notes sometime." "Sure. I'm 13. How about you?" "I'm 14. The two stared at each other in astonishment. Young Nianxia's surprise stemmed from how young Tang Wulin was, while Tang Wulin found young Nianxia's enormous size shocking for someone at his age. "The 3 of us make quite a good team. Do you have any idea what we should do later? I'm not very good at strategizing." "What are your specialties?" young Nianxia asked, full of vigor. All of the new students still weren't familiar with each other, so this battle royal served as the perfect stage to showcase their strengths. The more formidable one appeared, the easier it would be for them to form relationships with others. Furthermore, it would elevate one's status in the class. Everyone was eager to prove themselves. Tang Wulin smiled wryly. "It's quite simple really. Isn't your martial soul the Dusk Gold Bear? The Dusk Gold Bear has amazing strength and defense. All you need to do is focus on displaying them and we'll be fine. Leave the rest to me and Guu. I'll pull people to you, and you'll beat them up. Guu will be in charge of ranged attacks and supporting us." With the addition of young Nianxia, Tang Wulin was satisfied with the composition of their team. He had no doubts about young Nianxia's strength. He had passed Shrek's entrance exam too, after all. At the very least, he had to have 3 soul rings. Those who had been admitted with only 2 soul rings like Tang Wulin were an oddity. As this thought crossed Tang Wulin's mind, the image of that red-haired fallen angel girl popped into his head. Doesn't she only have 2 rings as well? And she has purple ones like mine. The same goes for you, Zhengyu. He has 3 purple rings. It seems like both holy angels and fallen angels have the physical strength and spiritual power to support a powerful spirit soul. 15 minutes soon passed. Shen Yi and Wu Zhongkong majestically led the 101 students of the first grade out of the classroom. They walked down a long hall, venturing into the depths of the school building. The school building was simply enormous. It would take someone several years to become familiar with every nook and cranny of it. They soon arrived in a large circular room. Strangely enough, this room was barely large enough to fit all of the students, but nowhere near enough room for them to do battle. In just a moment, all of you will enter an illusory world. I believe everyone here has been in the Spirit Ascension platform before, so you can consider this world as something similar. Now, everyone move outside of the white circle on the floor, Shen Yi said. The students did as Shen Yi ordered and withdrew from the center of the room, leaving a large empty space there. Shen Yi walked over to the wall and operated some kind of mechanism. A series of soul circuits lit up in response, zigzagging all over the room. A moment later, the floor of the center of the room opened up, and egg-shaped globes shot out. Each globe was about 2.5 meters tall with a diameter of 1.2 meters. All of them split open to reveal a peculiar cockpit within. You may choose to enter whichever one you want. After entering, you will find yourselves in a forest. The boundaries of this forest are small, so you will quickly encounter each other. If you want to be near any companions, enter eggs that are near each other. You have 3 minutes to sort things out. Don't forget to buckle your seat belts once you've entered your cabin. So high-tech. Tang Wulin stared at the oval cabins in admiration. They were clearly entering the same kind of world as the Spirit Ascension platform. Taking the world they entered during the entrance exam into consideration as well, he could barely even begin to imagine what technology Shrek Academy possessed. Perhaps he would no longer need to visit the Spirit Ascension platform and could just come here instead. Tang Wulin, Ji Yu, and Yang Nianxia swiftly chose 3 cabins that were clustered together. After entering, they buckled their seat belts, and the opening of their cabins closed, leaving each of them in darkness. Soon after that, specks of starlight twinkled into existence around Tang Wulin, as if he were floating amidst a sea of stars. Waves of energy began rippling around him, and the egg began to spin. Dizziness struck him and left him dazed, but just as he was about to throw up from the nausea, his mind went blank. His nausea completely vanished, and he could feel his feet planted firmly below him. He immediately dropped to the ground in a low crouch. Crouching reduced how big of a target he was and also gave him a chance to let his soul power and blood essence settle. It was essential for him to be in peak condition. Tang Wulin had a clear view of his surroundings. Just as Shen Yi had said, he found himself in a lush forest. He couldn't see anyone else, but the dense flora severely limited his line of sight. Now that he was in a forest, Tang Wulin felt like a fish back in water. Plant-type soul masters like him had a definite advantage in such an environment. Tang Wulin dashed to the side and jumped into some shrubbery to hide himself. A moment later, purple eyes appeared within the shrubbery. Tang Wulin? Ji Yu? Where are you guys? A voice roared nearby. Tang Wulin was stunned, but his expression soon darkened. This guy. The owner of that voice was clearly Yang Nianxia. Shen Yi had said that this small forest would be filled with the students of the first grade. Tang Wulin was appalled that Yang Nianxia would brazenly shout like this, revealing himself the instant the battle royal started. Tang Wulin leaned forward as he stealthily dashed through the shadows of the bushes toward Yang Nianxia's voice. He had to join up with Yang Nianxia immediately and change their location before they were surrounded. Sure enough, he quickly located Yang Nianxia by following his booming voice. Yang Nianxia stood in the middle of a clearing, perplexed look on his face as he swept his gaze through his surroundings. He was tall and muscular and practically had a giant target painted on his back. Just as Tang Wulin was about to join up with Yang Nianxia, he noticed something and stopped, remaining in the bushes. A figure quietly approached Yang Nianxia from behind him. It was truly strange. A shadow on the ground was the only sign of someone approaching, but no one was there to cast it. But when the shadow reached Yang Nianxia, it suddenly burst into existence in the shape of a person. The shadow person threw a garrote around Yang Nianxia's neck and pulled. What martial soul is that? It's so strange. Although Tang Wulin was startled, he didn't rush out to save Yang Nianxia. Their alliance wasn't that solid to begin with, and he had to be cautious of any enemies that appeared. Only the heavens knew how many people had set their sights on Yang Nianxia now. The assailant braced themselves against Yang Nianxia, taking advantage of their difference in height to push off of Yang Nianxia's back to strangle him. This was an illusory world in which even death wasn't real, so the attacker showed no mercy and immediately aimed for a fatal blow. Yang Nianxia's body instantly went stiff as he resisted the force pressing against his neck. The fact that his attacker aimed for a vital part like his neck from the very beginning meant that they were a fairly powerful agility-type soul master. 3 soul rings rose from under the attacker's feet, but only his second ring lit up. Yang Nianxia jabbed his elbow backward, intent on striking the attacker's chest. However, since the attacker stood on his back, his elbow couldn't reach. Yang Nianxia ferociously stomped the ground and his body began expanding. He quickly grew from 190 centimeters to 250 centimeters tall. Although his transformation wasn't as drastic as Yuanan's Titan giant ape, Yang Nianxia's hair became dark gold, a dark gold luster covered his skin, and 3 purple soul rings rose from his feet. This guy. Tang Wulin's eyes widened in shock. Seemingly sensing that his advantage was gone, the assailant kicked off of Yang Nianxia and put some distance between them. At that moment, Yang Nianxia's first soul ring lit up and dark golden light erupted from his body. The light revealed the true form of the illusory figure behind him, slowing them down as well. Yang Nianxia's hand shot backward to catch the enemy by their ankle. With a firm grasp on the enemy's ankle, he smashed them into the ground like a rag doll. An instant later, the ambusher's body disappeared in a flash of light. After confirming his victory, Yang Nianxia returned to his normal appearance, minus the clothes that had been torn apart by his transformation. Tang Wulin. Gu. Where are you two? Yang Nianxia shouted, clearly having no intention of stopping. As he watched from the shadows, Tang Wulin felt a chill go down his spine. Just as expected, no one who passed the entrance exam can be considered weak. He might be exposing himself while looking for us, but he has the strength to do so. His powerful martial soul and strange soul skill allowed him to easily take care of that ambusher. That wire didn't even do anything to him. I shouldn't go out yet. He looks honest, but he has a cunning heart. He's an excellent teammate candidate. What are you hollering for? 3 figures emerged from the forest, a group of 2 boys and 1 girl. All of them had 2 purple soul rings and 1 yellow soul ring. The girl led the way. She had a dazzlingly pretty face and was an even match for Xu Xiaoyan in the looks department, but she was far more arrogant. A dark green snake coiled around her right arm, surrounded by a gloomy aura. The 2 boys behind her were average in terms of height and looks, but their faces were identical. The moment he saw the twins, Tang Wulin couldn't help but recall the twin sisters he had encountered at the Sky Sea Alliance tournament. He had lost to their powerful soul fusion skill back then. Considering the fact that these 2 boys were also twins, he wondered if they also had a soul fusion skill. Since classes had just started, Tang Wulin was still unfamiliar with his classmates. He didn't know who was powerful and who was weak. Judging by the sound of the voice, it was clear that the girl had spoken. Yang Nianxia responded with an innocent smile. Hi, I'm Yang Nianxia. I'm looking for my teammates right now. The girl stepped forward. I'm Zheng. You should just withdraw right now and save yourself from some pain. The position of class president is already mine. Yang Nianxia stared at her in astonishment. Didn't the teacher say we need to fight for the position? How is the position already yours? Zheng frowned. Are you stupid? I obviously meant that no one else is worthy of being my opponent. It's guaranteed that I'll beat everyone here and become the class president. All right, enough of this nonsense. Zheng Hu. Send him on his way. Yes, young miss. The two boys behind her shot forward, their first soul rings twinkling as an aura of darkness enveloped them. A green tint appeared on their skin as they dashed toward Yang Nianxia. They opened their mouths and shot green light straight at him. Yang Nianxia stood there as if he had been stunned, not moving an inch. Then he suddenly released his martial soul and his body swelled once more. Isn't he being too cocky? Tang Wulin frowned from his position in the bushes. The two green lights struck Yang Nianxia. He shuddered as a dark green hue corrupted the golden luster that covered him. Ah! Poison! Yang Nianxia cried out as a sudden trembling gripped him. Zhenglong and Xinghu approached Yang Nianxia with lightning speed. Their martial souls could only faintly be discerned as a jade-green haze. Death clung to them, and the surrounding plants wilted wherever they went. It was poison, just as Yang Nianxia said. It was a rarely seen poison attribute martial soul. Considering the fact that they had passed the Shrek entrance exam, they had to be powerful in their own right. That Zheng, who seemed to have a similar martial soul, was also there. They likely hailed from a family of poison attribute martial souls. Tang Wulin's horizons were truly broadened today. Since entering Shrek Academy, he had seen countless rare and powerful martial souls. In the blink of an eye, Zhenglong and Xinghu reached Yang Nianxia. Yang Nianxia trembled more intensely than before as each of the twins raised a foot to kick him, a transparent jade-green spike sprouting from their feet. Although the spikes were beautiful, the association of the color with their martial souls took away from that. If the two spiked kicks struck Yang Nianxia's neck, his bid for class presidency would definitely be done. Even so, Tang Wulin did not act. Yang Nianxia wasn't really his comrade after all. Besides, considering how crafty Yang Nianxia was, Tang Wulin was confident that he wouldn't lose to just two poison attribute soul masters. So poisonous. How scary! Yang Nianxia wailed. But just as the two spikes were about to stab him, he stopped trembling. His arms shot out like lightning to grab each twin by the ankle. A grim smile formed on his lips. Isn't that enough now? He stomped on the ground, dispelling the green haze on him with a burst of dark golden light. The light made the air tremble, and when it struck Zhenglong and Xinghu, their bodies went weak. They had been completely sapped of strength. Yang Nianxia ruthlessly slammed the twins onto the ground. Zhenglong and Xinghu disappeared in two flashes of light before Xing'an could even react. You? She stood there, stunned beyond belief. Never had she expected that the twins' poison would be ineffective against Yang Nianxia. Hi Xing'an, I'm Yang Nianxia. Please advise me. Yang Nianxia, without giving her a chance to process the situation, charged toward her like an unstoppable tank. You're seeking death. Xing'an screamed. A bright green haze covered her as she dashed forward. The snake curled around her arm glowed, then spat green mist at Yang Nianxia. Yang Nianxia snarled. Dark gold light burst from his body, disintegrating the mist when they touched. He reached her an instant later. Xing'an regarded him with icy eyes as she still rushed forth, clearly not intending to dodge. Yang Nianxia was just about to smash into her, when her body went soft as if her bones had liquefied and her arm shot out to meet his fist. Light exploded around her, concealing which soul skill she used. A split second later, she wrapped herself around Yang Nianxia, constricting him. She lifted up her now jade-green right hand and stabbed it at his neck. At the same time, the snake on her arm glowed again and sprayed another puff of mist at Yang Nianxia's face. Yang Nianxia's third soul ring lit up and he howled, his already enormous bulk growing to 3 meters in height. Dark gold fur sprouted all over his body like a bed of steel needles. Light exploded from his body in an attempt to throw Xing'an off of him. However, unlike Zhenglong and Xinghu, she held fast onto Yang Nianxia like glue. Even as the light increased in intensity, she held on. The two were locked in a stalemate. At that moment, a palm appeared out of nowhere and gently rested on Xing'an's back. She trembled, then stiffened as a layer of blue frost spread across her back. Yang Nianxia roared as he tensed his muscles, shattering Xing'an's frozen body into brilliant shards of ice. A second later, and all that remained of her was a few particles of light. A girl with long black hair flashed next to Yang Nianxia's side. She wasn't particularly pretty, but she had a particular air about her. It was Ji Yu. She had teleported in and used Frost Palm on Xinyiran, instantly turning the tide of battle. Yang Nianxia's body rapidly shrunk back to normal and he turned to Ji Yu to give her a thumbs up. Ji Yu responded with a polite smile, holding her hands behind her back as if this matter wasn't worth mentioning. To Tang Wulin's astonishment, Ji Yu's eyes darted toward the bushes he hid in for a fleeting second before shifting away. Wow! The Spirit Sea realm is amazing. Her perception is so keen now, she instantly discovered me. Yet, even so, she did not call out to him, nor did he come out. Ji Yu, what should we do now? Yang Nianxia asked with an innocent look on his face. Weren't you doing well just now? Continue. Ji Yu walked toward the bushes Tang Wulin hid in once she finished speaking. But my soul power will run out? Yang Nianxia said with a wronged expression. That's your problem. Ji Yu didn't look back. Instead, she crouched down and entered the bushes. She casually sat next to Tang Wulin. At that moment, Tang Wulin's eyes flashed and his right arm shot out like lightning. A ding rang through the air as a pair of sharp talons were knocked away by Tang Wulin's arm. They had been aimed at their backs. Spears of blue-silver grass shot out from the ground and shook the surrounding bushes so violently, they released two people whose bodies were paralyzed. In the same instant, a pair of meter-long wind blades flew out and turned the two attackers into flashes of light. Tang Wulin hadn't turned around the entire time. Even now, he only revealed a smirk as he gave a thumbs up behind him. A figure crawled forward not too far from behind Tang Wulin and picked up a strand of blue-silver grass. Not a sound came from this person, as if he had completely blended in with the environment. It was precisely Xie. The team he had formed with two other agility-type soul masters had eliminated 5 other people beforehand. After all, agility-type soul masters had both speed and attack power. Ambush was their forte. But when Xie's 2 teammates had set their eyes on Tang Wulin, neither sensed their impending doom. It was a pity. They had been betrayed. After spending all these years together, Tang Wulin and Xie didn't need to verbally communicate. As soon as Xie realized that the person within the bushes was Tang Wulin, he pinched a strand of blue-silver grass found everywhere because he knew of Tang Wulin's grass surveillance network. After being warned, Tang Wulin had passed this on to Ji Yu with a signal only their team knew. The tragic fates of the 2 agility-type soul masters played out afterward. The most important part of this chain of events, though, was that they had never suspected Xie's betrayal. Once restrained, only one path left for agility-type soul masters. It wasn't that they weren't strong, but their advantage lay in ambushing and guerrilla tactics. With their speed, it naturally lowered the strength of their defenses. Yang Nianxia noticed this commotion and approached the bushes, his pupils contracting in shock when he saw 2 flashes of light. However, he soon regained his calm and gave a thumbs up. He ran over to join Ji Yu in the bushes. Why you? When did you get here? Yang Nianxia exclaimed, surprised to see Tang Wulin in the bushes as well. Tang Wulin gave a wry smile. I just got here a moment ago. A naive smile formed on Yang Nianxia's lips. Oh. Keep watch for me then. I need to recover some soul power. They had already eliminated 6 people within a few short minutes. Moreover, all of their opponents had been powerful, especially that Xinyiran with her tyrannical poisonous martial soul. Despite this, the Dusk Gold Bear's stalwart defenses restrained her martial soul and she met her demise at the hands of Ji Yu's Frost Palm. Of course, victory wouldn't have been so easy for them had she not been so arrogant. Yang Nianxia sat down and began meditating without a hint of worry. He had complete faith in Tang Wulin and Ji Yu to protect him. Tang Wulin and Ji Yu exchanged a look. They didn't speak as Tang Wulin willed his blue-silver grass into the ground to link with the surrounding plants. He poured soul power into the plants through his grass, empowering them to mask their aura. This video will end here.